Welcome to the Training Grounds, a playlist based on the basics of Albion Online. In today's video, we're going to cover what are hardcore expeditions and how do I do them. A hardcore expedition is a dungeon that can be accessed from giving an HCE map of any level to the expedition master NPC in any royal city. This makes the dungeons incredibly safe in the sense that you cannot die and lose your gear. However, you can damage your gear and build up a hefty repair bill. So let's first talk about the maps. You can get an HCE map from buying one in any marketplace for anywhere between 10,000 silver up to 2 million silver, depending on the level of the map. If you're trying to save up on silver, these maps can also be looted in the open world. Hardcore expedition maps are special in the sense that you get a certain amount of time to complete them, but you also get a bonus time, where if you complete the map in that given bonus time, you get a random next tier up map. So for example, if you had a level 10 Stone Wars map that you completed in the bonus time, you would then get a random new level 11 map. The only exception to this is a level 18 map. They have a loot chest at the end of them, which contain anywhere from thousands of silver worth of loot to millions of silver worth of loot. So, the level 18 map bonus will not generate another map at the end, which is why many of the level 18 map holders usually charge a fee to anyone who joins them. And obviously, if you don't finish the map within the bonus reward time, then you don't get a bonus. In hardcore expedition dungeons, there are 5 possible player slots. These are usually filled with 3 DPSs, 1 tank, and 1 healer. Let's start with the obvious. The healer is tasked with healing the tank and making sure that the tank stays alive, while the tank is in charge of managing all the pulls and stuns on the enemies. And for anyone who didn't know, a pull is when you get a certain group of enemies to attack you. Once the enemies are stunned, the DPS get to work and fulfill their roles of doing as much damage as possible and going invisible as much as possible. So let's look at an example of how things will go. The tank pulls a group of mobs. The tank then stuns the mobs and establishes aggro. The DPSs and healer would not attack or heal until this is done because they do not want to steal aggro, or in simple terms, steal the mob's attention before the mobs are stunned, because then they can take damage. After the mobs are stunned, it is okay to attack and heal because the tank will get 4 normal attacks and then root the mobs, making them stuck in one place. The tank would then run out of range of the mobs, and the DPS will attack and do as much damage as they possibly can, while they all turn invisible so they do not steal aggro from the tank. This process would then be repeated. I made separate videos going over the meta builds for each role and everything you need to know about those specific roles. Check out the links in the description below for those videos. Also, for a little more detail, I cover all of the offsets you're going to need in the different roles in those videos, so go ahead and check them out. Now that we've looked at all of the roles, let's go ahead and take a look at skip sets. In HCEs, skip sets are required to do the map within the bonus time. They're used to skip large portions of the maps, and without them, some of the maps wouldn't be able to be completed within the bonus time. The most common skip set is Spectre Boots, Royal Cowl, Expert's Assassin's Jacket if possible, and lower tiers will work, and Adept Spear. Let's take a look at the abilities on our items. For the Royal Cowl, we're going to need Perpetual Energy, which reduces our energy cost to 0 for 15 seconds, and Efficiency, which reduces our energy cost by 6%. Moving on to the Assassin Jacket, we're going to equip Ambush, which gets us a short little burst of invisibility, and we're going to have Quick Thinker for the passive. This reduces our cooldowns by roughly 5%. For the Spectre Boots, we're going to go ahead and equip the same passive, Quick Thinker, which reduces our cooldown by roughly 2.5%, and then we're going to equip Spectral Run, which is going to be the main beef of invisibility for our skip. And finally, for the Spear, we're going to go ahead and equip whichever ability. For the first one, it doesn't really matter, you're not going to be using it. For the second one, you're going to have Inner Focus, which allows you to run a bit faster. For the third one, you have Reckless Charge, which allows you to dash into a group of mobs. And then for the passive ability, you're going to have Slow Poison, which doesn't really do too much. To actually do a skip, you're going to want to use your W ability, which makes you run a bit faster. You use your E to dash into a group of mobs. Immediately use your R and then your D and F to do a very long skip. Now, as we said before, dying in an HCE isn't the biggest deal because all it does is take all of your items in your inventory and decrease the durability on each by 5%. Now, if you have a whole bunch of 8.3 masterpiece items, obviously your repair bill is going to be pretty crazy even after one down. So it does get expensive if you keep going down, but you don't actually lose the gear. And the other effect that happens when you die is that you lose your food effects, which you just need to eat another piece of food then. And the most important part of any HCE is actually finding a group. You can either do this by obviously getting your friends, but there is also a looking for group chat in Albion. You just need to go and press at the bottom left corner of your screen where you chat and change your mode to looking for a group. And basically all you have to do is do a LFM, which means you're looking for people to join your map. Or if you do an LFG, it means you're looking to join a group or join someone who has a map. And so like an example of this would be like looking for maps, so LFM, and then you need a DPS and a healer. You want them 1700 plus, and then if you control and click on the map, it'll go ahead and post the actual item in your chat bar. And then after that, you're going to want to say that you want them to have a skip set, which should be implied, and then you can put how many people you have in your group after that. It's like 3 out of 5. There is also the HCE Discord, which is very popular. There's always people active on there, and it's a lot of fun. Now, when people first start off, they don't know what maps they should be doing based off their IP level. So a real quick breakdown of that is levels 1 through 7, you can have roughly 1300 IP. 8 through 10, you're going to want to have 1400 IP. 11, 12, you're going to want around 1500 IP. 13, 14, you're going to want 1600 IP. 15 through 17, 1700 IP. And 18, 1800 IP. And finally, one of the most important things you need to do, especially if you're a tank, is to memorize the maps. Like, you need to know what pulls are going to be done in each area of the map, and like what pulls you'll actually be doing versus when to skip and everything like that. So just make sure that you watch a lot of tutorials on YouTube of the maps actually being done, because the more you know them, the easier they are to do. Well, there we have it. We summed up the basics of HCE. I hope you guys found this video very helpful and it helps you with your HCE journey. Alright, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you found this video helpful and enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Peace out.